appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. Nigeria's health authorities have confirmed 3 Ebola cases in Port Harcourt since the virus spread to the hub of the nation's oil industry. This brings to 16 the number of Ebola cases in the country. Health Minister Onyebuchi, however, disclosed that 2 colleagues of the Port Harcourt doctor tested negative to the virus. He spoke at the meeting of the National Council on Health in Abuja.
We are aware that there is still a lot of work to be done. We must sustain our current momentum, ensure that the outbreak in Rivers State is resolutely contained, and strengthen systems across all the states to handle any eventuality now and in the future.
As part of efforts to contain the spread of the deadly Ebola virus, the Lagos State government has received protective items from a telecommunications firm. The state's governor, Babatunde Fashola, while receiving the donations, assures that the government is doing everything at its disposal to stop the Ebola virus from reaching epidemic level. Oluwole Abiola has more in this report presented from our studio. Details of that later. Following cases of escape from quarantine and surveillance by 2 Ebola disease patients from Lagos to Enugu and Port Harcourt, the Ministry of Health has said it would approach the National Assembly in order to enact a law that will criminalize movement of patients under surveillance during outbreak of epidemics such as Ebola virus disease. Minister of Health Onyebuchi says that the review of the quarantine law became necessary given the current Ebola outbreak. According to the minister, the Health Ministry is strengthening surveillance and working with the National Assembly to review the country's quarantine law. He stressed that apart from the 2 known cases of escape to Enugu and Port Harcourt respectively, no other cases have been identified, adding that nonetheless there is need to strengthen or set in motion an enabling law to prevent patients from escaping surveillance. 5 co-authors of the latest study on Ebola were killed by the virus before their research was published, highlighting the huge risk undertaken by those working to combat its spread. The study, published recently, discovered that the virus has mutated many times during the outbreak in West Africa, making establishing a treatment more difficult. Mbalu Foni, Alex Magboy, Alice Kovoma, Mohamed Fuller and Sheikh Umar Khan worked with lead researchers at Harvard University to examine the current outbreak. Science Mag said all 5 were experienced members of the Kenema Government Hospital's Lassa fever team. Lassa fever infections have similar symptoms to Ebola. Their work sequenced the virus genomes from 78 patients and traced the outbreak in Sierra Leone to a funeral of a healer, which a pregnant Kenema Government Hospital Ebola patient and other women who were also infected had attended. 2 months before his death, Khan had described the dangers of treating people with the disease, telling Reuters he feared for his life. More than half of the 3,669 people infected by Ebola have died from the disease, which has spread across Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, Nigeria, and now Senegal. The World Health Organization has warned the current outbreak could infect up to 20,000 people before it ends. As the issue of the management of the Ebola virus disease outbreak and associated matters continue to generate reactions from Nigerians, a medical doctor and vice chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, Lagos State Chapter, Segun Akinwotu, says the insurance and daily allowance for health workers involved in the management of patients at the isolation center for Ebola patients in Lagos should be extended to all health workers. Akinwotu, who was a guest on a flagship program Core Digest, says the outbreak of Ebola is what is with us now, but that there are other equally deadly ailments which are being managed, and all health workers should be covered to ensure that other such outbreaks are well managed.
We believe it's more of having health insurance that matters most. And we want to say that it's not even just health workers involved in Ebola management that should be insured. I think all medical personnel should be insured. It is very important. It is Ebola we have seen today. There are many other things.
He stressed that the move by the federal government to criminalize movement of people under quarantine is a step in the right direction. And we'll be back with more. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
The Gani Fawayemi Memorial Organization held a World Press Conference to kickstart this year's 5th memorial program to commemorate the death of the civil rights activist. Anita Fatunji has details.
The chairman of the organization, Ayodele Akele, says it is important and imperative to remember Gani Fawayemi for what he stands for and things he would have done on behalf of the masses.
It is imperative to remember Gani with those things that he would have done, the battles he would have fought on behalf of the masses, the several articles he would have written challenging the unjust decisions of government of the day, and condemning the travails to which Nigerian masses today are being subjected to.
Ganiat Fawayemi says her late husband believed that good governance means being with the people, knowing their pains and solving their problems.
Conscious, more security conscious, and then tell the so-called leaders in quotes that they are not doing it right, who are not benefiting the poor masses of this country, hold them out. Where is Nigeria going to? These are the things my late husband was fighting for, that we should be safe in our country, and this is why people are going outside the country, not only for good life, but also for safety. So we should all address these points wherever we are.
The chairman of the organization demanded that the government put its thinking cap so as to rescue the Chibok girls.
We demand an urgent probe of where the endless, huge budgetary allocation to the military and police went to now forcing innocent rank-and-file police officers and soldiers absconding to Cameroon.
He also restated the need for the federal government of Nigeria to immortalize Gani Fawayemi.
Therefore, in our strive to immortalize this great colossus, we want to restate for the umpteenth time, and on this auspicious 5th year memorial of Chief Gani Fawayemi, the need for federal government of Nigeria to immortalize minimally this great human being without further delay by one, renaming the headquarters of National Human Rights Commission Abuja after Chief Gani Fawayemi as Gani Fawayemi Human Rights House. 2, establishment of Gani Fawayemi Freedom Square in Abuja as a freedom square where aggrieved Nigerians, NGOs, CSO, activities, etc. can gather peacefully without any molestation to protest and ventilate their grievances and angers over bad governance.
The organization says its objective is to monitor, develop, documentation and research data bank on promotion and sustenance of human rights in the country. They appeal to Nigerians to put in efforts to support the organization. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
President Goodluck Jonathan is billed to travel to Nairobi on Tuesday to participate in a meeting of the African Union's Peace and Security Council, scheduled to hold in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. The Nairobi meeting is a follow-up to talks by President Jonathan and other African leaders held in South Africa this year on joint action against terrorism. The meeting will receive and consider the report of the chairperson of the African Union Commission on Terrorism and Violent Extremism in Africa. The Independent National Electoral Commission has declared the Saturday Niger East senatorial by-election as inconclusive due to irregularities in some polling units. The INEC resident electoral commissioner in Niger State, Emmanuel Onucheyo, made this known at the end of the result collation in Minna. He says another election would be held in some polling units in Bozo, Chanchaga, Munya, Paikoro, Rafi and Shiroro local government areas on September 6. The by-election was held in 9 councils: Boso, Chanchaga, Gurara, Munya, Paikoro, Rafi, Shiroro, Suleja and Tafa. He says the election witnessed cases of ballot box snatching, arm twisting of electoral officials and violence. Onucheyo stressed the standing results for the 4 parties that participated were given as All Progressives Congress had 84,689 votes, All Progressives Grand Alliance 2,099 votes, People's Democratic Party 89,640 and the Social Democratic Party 460. As part of efforts to encourage accuracy in financial reportage, a media consultancy outfit has organized a one-day training program in Lagos for financial business reporters across the country. This seminar, the organizers say, is aimed at familiarizing business journalists with effective financial reporting techniques. Rashid was at the training program and filed in this report.
Nigeria recently emerged the biggest economy on the African continent. The country, no doubt, should run an accounting system which is in conformity with international financial reporting standards. This will enable international trade partners to easily understand companies' accounts from the country, thus easing cross-boundary transactions. The resource person at the training program, Chris Okwe, laments Nigeria's low level of compliance with international standards. However, he is optimistic that there will be improvement with time.
We do have a problem around the people who want to provide this service, and that's in terms of competence. And then we have on the other part, the people who want to receive the service, who may not even be convinced. But I think we are trending well. We're trending well on the conversion train. And believe me, more and more people are getting more interested in IFRS.
The media, it was emphasized, must play a major role in informing the people about new technologies and developments in the financial world.
In a sense, number one is to keep journalists abreast of the happenings within the economy, as it were, particularly as concerns reporting, financial reporting. And number two, to help them familiarize with the new standards, the new IFRS standards, as it impacts how they report, in the media. Again, is to enhance, their knowledge.
Finance and business journalists present say the training is timely as it complements efforts geared towards enlightening the people.
There's a lot of improvements this year to help journalists to do critical analysis on financials when they are published, ask the right questions, and then inform the investing public appropriately.
With the training of journalists in standard financial reporting, Better days can be said to be ahead in the world of business as Nigeria prepares to embrace new financial models. Rashid, CoreTV News, Lagos.
We'll take another break on the CoreTV News at 7, and when we return, it will be more stories outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
Thank you for being there. Anti-government protesters armed with rocks and wooden clubs clashed with police in Islamabad has, after the army called for a peaceful resolution to the political crisis rocking Pakistan. Opposition groups marched to the capital in a bid to topple Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, triggering a crisis that has raised the specter of military intervention in a country that has been ruled for half its history by the army. The army urged the government and protesters to settle their differences peacefully, but warned that it is committed to playing its part in ensuring security of the state after clashes left 3 dead. Violence began when followers of former cricketer Imran Khan and populist cleric Tahirul Qadri tried to storm Sharif's official residence. Fresh clashes erupted on Monday morning as more than 3,000 demonstrators again tried to march on the building. Protesters resisted riot police with stones and some smashed up motorbikes with wooden clubs. Police tried to respond with tear gas, but the heavy rain appeared to make it ineffective. European Union leaders on Sunday gave Russia a week to reverse course in Ukraine or face a new round of sanctions as Kiev warned it was on the brink of a full-scale war with Moscow. Fears are growing that the confrontation of the EU's eastern borders could engulf the whole continent after Russia sent troops to back a new offensive by pro-Kremlin rebels in southeastern Ukraine. The European Commission, the EU's executive arm, has been ordered to produce options for new sanctions within a week, he said. The sanctions plan came after Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko visited Brussels to urge the EU to take tougher steps against Russia, which he accused of military aggression and terror. The EU delivered a further riposte to Russia on Saturday when it appointed Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, a vocal Kremlin critic, to replace Van Rompuy as its next president. The EU and the United States have already slapped tough sanctions on Russia for its role in the Ukraine crisis, including Moscow's annexation of Crimea in March. And that's all we have for you on CoreTV News at 7. Join me again at 9:45 for the primetime news. Thank you for watching. I am Ebulomo Adekunle.